Listen. If you came here today for Chicago's Bears slander, if you came here today for slander against our starting quarterback, came here for slander against these guys, came here for slander against our defense, or against our running back, you came to the wrong place. The Bears are still 3-1. There is no sad faces here, guys. There is.
Look at this joy.
Yes. Yes. We are still happy. And guess what? We have the old man and the Bucs coming around the corner on Thursday. 4-1 around the corner. Who knows? We're going to talk about it. Yes, we took an L. We will talk about that. We will address that. Discuss the elephant in the room. All right, so before we get into it, let me intro us and really quick. I'm getting used to this, okay? Got my man DGB here. Sizzling white chocolate over. Love it. And then we got Porky. Porky is back in the house. How are you doing, Porky? How you doing, Pork Chop?
I'm well. I have an empty house, which means I actually get to get work done. Amazing.
Isn't it amazing what we consider great in our old age? Like something so simple as like just peace while taking the dump is just great. You know what I'm saying? Just like,
yep.
It's the simple things in
your
life.
alone time.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, you're like, it's just the simple things in life we just enjoy. But hey,
it's called the porcelain throne for a reason.
All right. Get on topic. So, like I said, Bears week 4. No, right, yeah. Bears week 4.
See,
took a major L to the Indianapolis Colts. They took an L to the Colts. A lot of people predicted it. Wasn't really shocking, and watching it was pretty painful. It looked like our offense was slow. Looked like we were. What was the best way to put it? Someone said like we look like
you turn over like a container of molasses and it just pours out through a pinhole or something like that.
There you go. That's the best way. Someone said that, and I'm like, that is the best way to explain our Bears offense. But garbage time, got a garbage time TD. Allen Robinson, extend that man. We're still screaming that. And then we took the L. All right. Again, Just talk. I don't want to talk about. I don't want to be super depressed about the L. Let's just get over. Let's talk about. Let's be constructive. Offer some constructive criticism to the coaching staff. Why are we running 3rd and 1 with Cordell Patterson against the stout Indianapolis Colts defense? You know, let's offer some constructive criticism to Nagy and the offense and the defense and the special teams. With special teams was absolutely wow. All right, go ahead.
Constructive criticism. Well, I mean, aside from some defensive penalties at bad times and just allowing a lot of 3rd down conversions, the defense looked pretty good, right? I mean, Jonathan Taylor, I thought, was going to run wild over them based on how the Bears defense looked against, Gurley and, Brian Hill, and then, the weeks before that. And so, the defense looked good. The Khalil Mack interception that could have been or should have been would have been nice. And, just in terms of pressure, they've been getting some, but not enough. But that offensive line is top tier. So that's kind of like one of those things where you kind of accept what it is.
Ours or theirs?
No, theirs. The
Colts.
Okay. Yeah, no. I'm saying for the defense's pass rush, that's a good offensive line on the other side of the other side of the ball.
I was gonna say ours isn't too bad, but top tier. Like, whoo, hold on.
Hey, this is not a truth take. No, so I mean,
but
if you want to look
truth.
right, yeah. Well, this one is.
Yeah.
It's if you want to look at it that way, the defense I thought was good. Could take another step up, which is I think is a good thing, right? To look at it that way. There is a little bit more to that, but then the offense, needs some work. Just the consistency there, but that's all things we know.
Yeah, I agree that the defense looked pretty solid. When you look at the previous Colts game, the Colts had 20 points, 28 points, 36 points. Bears only gave up 39. I mean, well, 39. They gave up 19 points to their defense, and it shows that this defense is amazing. But we need to get our offense going. But like you said, it's the overall construction of the Bears for them to hold the Colts offensively lower than anything that they did, also going up against a pretty solid defense. The first week of any league is pretty much you take it with a grain of salt, right? But after that, they did only go up against the Vikings and the Jets, but they did pretty solid, overall their defense. So you're going up against the Bears.
Go ahead. Finish your statement. Go ahead.
So when you're going up against the Bears, that they had momentum, feeling as if, all right, we got Nick. We're going to get in here. We're going to make things happen. And the defense held them, and it was a garbage time touchdown, so it wasn't as close as what that seems. But in the end, I think that the offensive line, just like speaking of our offensive line and our run game, those two things were horrid. How are you expect to make some passing plays when you can't run the ball? Nick's passes weren't terrible. Like, when you look at his overall completion percentage and when you look at some of the drop balls that they had, yeah, not as bad as Mitch, I guess that's what we're grading towards, right? So that, like, Nick didn't look terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I have that high hopes still.
So, okay. Good. We'll get to our grade. We'll actually get to the squad grade in a little bit on game 4. But let me ask you guys a couple questions. Good recap. Overall, no, we didn't get the L. Or no, wow. Overall, no, we didn't get the dub. But still, we see why. You know what I'm saying? We see why. But at the same time, your defense, you both said the defense was good. In 2020, when you have the likes of Lamar Jackson, the likes of Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, Cam Newton even still, you know what I'm saying? Josh Allen. Is the idea of bend, don't break going to win you championships? Because I agree 100%. We kept the Colts down below their average scoring points. What did we keep it down to? What was it? 19 points. So
19.
I agree. Yes, I agree 100%. We did very good, very, very good. But they marched down the field continuously. Yeah, it resulted in field goals. They were marching down the field continuously. Our defense, no cough-ups, only one sack. This is Phillip Rivers we're talking about here. Phillip Rivers does not want to win. How many times do I have to tell people this? Like, Phillip Rivers will give a game away just to give it away. So, or put it all on his
But he has all day to throw because no one's getting pressure on that offensive line. So it's like a completely different ball game.
This is true. This is true. That offensive line, like you said, is top tier, very top tier. But again, from our defense, I expect better on a year, even just on a year. How many sacks do we have in a year? Just 3.5, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, it's low.
It's pretty low. So just.
But hold, I got to stop you there, though, right? Because when we're talking about this is something that I got to defend them clearly. The Bears punted 7 times, and with those 7 punts, they were outnumbered in time as far as time of possession. So they had 32 and a half minutes with the Colts. So when you're out there that long.
Just look at the third down conversions, though, and that's what this whole thing goes down to on both sides of the ball for the Bears. On offense, yeah, they couldn't convert any of them. It's awful. It's been awful. I think they're 31st. I think they're 31st in the league right now in third down conversions. And then on defense, they allowed, I forget what it exactly was, but they were just allowing key third down after third down and kind of 10 yards at that, for some of those third and longs, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7s.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference. Because then, yeah, the Colts can stay on the field. The Bears can't get off of it. And it's those moments. And that's why I was saying the defense is good, but it's cleaning up some of those things, right? The third down conversions on their side of the ball. And then that's what elevates them into, that a great for this season.
When you have both sides of the ball allowing things, right? I guess for me, the heaviest part of that is when you go back to the Colts and Vikings, their stats with a solid rushing game from the Vikings with Cook. Cush had Cook had 63 rushing yards with 1 touchdown. And that's pretty solid. He can tear it up more than that any other time. And Mr. Old Man that never ages, Frank Gore, had 15 carries for 57 yards. Oh, and the Bears, measly. David Montgomery, 10 carries for 27 yards. I mean, Lamar rushed longer than that on one play of the game, So, and then when you look at that, those minimum rushing yards with the time of possession in Indianapolis's favor, but only having 28 rushing yards, the offense had plenty of opportunity, which means they're staying on the field. The clock is getting stopped because that game went till about 6:30 or something like that. A lot of the other games finished, so that game was still going on because there was a lot of drop passes and clock stoppages on the Bears' end, in which they had time to capitalize and make something happen, in which they didn't. And yeah, that's just the offensive line in the rush game. Oh, scary.
That was a little scary, like you said. 28 yards on 16 attempts, not great whatsoever. Foles, I think he was only sacked once, which still good, but again, like you said, that right, he couldn't find. It wasn't all on David Montgomery. David Montgomery had to do a bit better. Not gonna lie, but at the same time, he was not giving. There was no holes there. There just weren't. And I know this Colts defense is good. Like if you're just looking at the stats, this Colts defense is very, very good. But again, you look at who they faced, and they haven't been the greatest of offenses. And now you just got to say, is ours considered that? And I think for now, yes, because this is, again, no training camps. Nick Foles hasn't had a lot of reps with the ones. This is just hopefully we get better from here. You know what I'm saying? The more games that he plays with them, the more practices we get in. Now this game against Tampa Bay, which we'll talk about in just a little bit, I'm a little concerned because Tampa Bay is like if Indianapolis is number 1 on defense, Tampa Bay is like number 2. So I'm a little concerned. I know Tampa Bay's I know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Wow, I'm tongue-tied today. I know they are a little banged up. I know they're probably going to be missing what's that wide receiver's name? Chris Godwin.
Godwin's still out.
I know Mike Evans had a little bit of an injury.
A little bit of an injury and was still carrying the team. That man is ridiculous.
But he's always getting injured. Like
always.
He's always injured. It's always something. Oh, but yeah, no, Derek, you mentioned Khalil Mack almost getting an interception. I know Khalil Mack's been getting doubled and, triples even sometimes, but I don't know if you guys, he doesn't, for the last, year and a half, he hasn't looked the same. Like, I know he was injured a little bit last year. I know he's dealing with something this year with the knee, but I don't know. It's just again, maybe it's I think it's we're up 3.5 sacks for the year. I don't know if that's it. And I know he's getting pressure, and because of him, Hakeem Nicks is having a fantastic start to the season.
He's looking good.
He's looking really good. So I know the Mac effect is still there. But from the player himself, and you can kind of see this sometimes with top tier players like Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald, hands down, is the number 1 defensive player in the league. But when coaches game plan for him, you can see him getting taken out of games. So I don't know. What do you guys think about this? The Khalil Mack, the effect he has on our defense, going forward. I hope the guy's healthy. What do you guys think?
I think that it's working because the fact is clearly there. Because, like we just said, Hakeem Hicks is present and aware. And no shade at Hakeem because the dude's a beast regardless, right? Mm-hmm. But because of all the scheming for Mac is getting, then Hakeem's like, fine, you want to do that, you're going to pay. And if he wasn't making them pay, then I'd say we have a problem for sure. Mm-hmm. But Hakeem is looking great. And on top of that, Roquan is looking pretty good on top of that. Knowing that
interception, you almost had that interception. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, he's not a wide receiver, so you don't know his foot placement. But being that if I don't think if Mac was getting the coverage that he's getting, then Roquan they'd definitely going up to that second level. And I think that he is like that one play that he sniffed out that screenplay and tackled him for a loss. For a young dude like that and going and making those plays, that is just looking solid. And I think that it's overall defense, it's working.
So okay? So you're, and I don't. Again, I'm not trying to cast. Maybe I am trying to cast doubt. I guess I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to just be that type of guy. But
Well,
I just go ahead, DGB. I don't
his
know.
salary, I mean, with his salary, you know, it makes it seem like he should have the eye-popping stats to go with the eye-popping contract. You know, I mean,
Exactly.
a guy like Myles Garrett this year, obviously he's younger too, but like, you know, he's gotten paid and he's getting, you know, he's showing out, you know, but for Khalil, it's like, you know, it seems like, yeah, he's like always right there, you know, like where it's just like a half step or something like that. And I know I said something about that with Robert Quinn, and that's like a whole other thing because he's not been, and I know he had an injury too, but he hasn't been like outside of that first play sack he had, you know, strip and all that. It was like, he hasn't really done a whole lot, and he hasn't had as many reps too. I saw this thing where it was like his snap count was right there with Barkevius Mingo, who basically the Bears just took a swing on. So, you know, Robert Quinn's getting paid a lot of money too. So, I don't know. You know, Khalil Mack is a very, very talented player. All the other players are kind of shining because the attention he takes from an offense as well.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, yeah, you'd like to just see some more stats. You know, you'd feel better about it than just looking at the tape and feeling like, okay, you know, he's doing his job. But yeah, just some nice sacks here or there.
You put right.
The
exactly.
interception would have been, you know, something that, you know,
you can put your hat on. Like you put it the best way. I've heard it. You want those eye popping stats for the eye popping contract. So I mean, that's the best way. I've kind of. I guess that's kind of how I feel. And again, like you see the effect. Like you said, Akeem Nicks is doing great this year. So I don't know. Hopefully there's a little bit of a breakthrough because I know, like I said, this last year and a half hasn't been like that great, at least for himself.
Sure.
But we'll see.
Well, what I'm interested to as like a final thought for the defense part is, you know, we're through 4 games. So that's, you know, first quarter of the season would have been, you know, 4 preseason games obviously would have played out differently. But looking at like guys like Jalen Johnson, right? I think he's like been graded as like a top 5 rookie defensive player, and he's looked really solid. And in part, that also helps that he doesn't have to cover for very long because if we can get a good pass rush, but he's looked really good. Kyle Fuller has looked pretty good and is that veteran, you know, kind of presence as well. So I don't know, you know, it's like I'd like to see a little bit more gelling, and maybe in a couple games, you know, they kind of feel like a little bit, you know, more solidified there, even with Gibson, Tashawn Gibson. So,
like I said, we are great, very good, and I know I said like a bend don't break offense. I mean, not defense, but that's kind of the best way I can put it. You know what I'm saying?
No, true.
You can get field goals on us, but you're not going to score a touchdown, which is great. But I don't know. I just
every little bit helps. But when
exactly.
when you're going to be in a playoff situation facing teams that can put up 40, you know, on you, it's
exactly.
Like
we can't
your
depend.
offense will have to do
exactly.
something too.
Our offense isn't built like that, so that's I'm just like our defense. We need some scoring opportunities, some interceptions, some fumbles, something. We need to get something going here. But,
certainly.
Before we move into anything about this game else other than talk about the offensive line. I know David Montgomery. We talked about the running, which I guess goes with the offensive line. Real quick question: David Montgomery, do you guys think does Nagy have confidence in David Montgomery? Like, I know this is his second year, right? Just second year, but I don't know. I just don't feel like he thinks David Montgomery is like can be a 3-down back. You know what I mean? Like, I know you had Tariq Cohen. I know he was a big part of that offense. And this is no dirt to Tariq Cohen because he's good. He's explosive. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. But, you know, everyone says it, his size. So you don't really see Tariq Cohen as like that type of player, that dynamic piece of your offense where that piece goes out, you're completely done. You don't really see that across the league too, where your second running back goes out and your offense kind of stalls like that. So I don't know. Does the confidence in David
Yeah.
Montgomery? Like, I don't know. Are you guys seeing
Maybe
the same
some of the
thing? Am I tweaking?
play design for
Play
David
design?
Montgomery. I mean, a lot of the stuff that he's been getting is kind of vanilla, and it's like for the runs, and then passing wise, like he hasn't really been involved that much in kind of getting him involved in the passing game. And I know he's not the fastest guy, but he has the ability to make people miss. So it's like I feel like they should give him a shot. I don't think he's gotten that that role that Tariq Cohen obviously plays. Maybe they hand off some of that to him, to Montgomery, that is, in the next couple of weeks, because try something.
Yeah, because
Yeah, and I think
like Cordell Patterson, I don't know. Like, we'll see. But yeah, go ahead, Porky. What are you about to say, Porky?
yeah, like Nagy came from a system that's just high power, high octane, with speed, and that's why I love Darnell Mooney, because I'm like, yo, man, this dude's going to be great if we have a quarterback that can hit him. And that's what they're looking for. Speed guys, quickness. That's why Tariq kind of fits that mold as well. And trying to utilize Montgomery, I think his skill set doesn't necessarily fit with them, which is why they got Patterson. With that, though, I do find it interesting that they signed Lamar Miller to the practice squad, knowing that they don't have any other depth back there. Are they going to try to change gears a little bit? I mean, if he does move up and they have like a Lamar and Montgomery back combo, and then you have Cordero Patterson kind of like a more of that flex all around, is that going to happen? Possibly.
Possibly, yeah. Didn't Lamar Miller rush for over 1,000 yards last year or something like that? Pretty
I
sure.
don't remember,
like,
but he was coming off of an injury that was pretty significant. So that was why he kept getting cut on some of these training camps and stuff, because he, COVID obviously couldn't get into any of the camps right away. And then I'm pretty sure. And then, yeah, just the injury thing. So we'll, I don't know. I think it's kind of more or less just a guy.
We'll see. That's another one. I'm kind of with Porky now, but I'm interested in that one. Just want to see where that one goes. But yeah, I want to see what our running attack does.
Well,
go ahead.
I think that there's potential in the passing game against the Bucs. The run game that's going to be brutal. I don't think there's a chance if they get. I expect them to get more than 28 yards, because that should be a must. If they can get 50 yards, great. But the passing game. We need some of those balls not dropped, and if within the first two possessions, people aren't coming down with balls. It's I don't know if I can bear to watch the rest of the game.
Did you?
Yeah. I mean, from my side, here's the thing, right? Is the Tampa Bay offensive line is fine, good, definitely nothing like we saw this past week in week 4. So I would give the Bears defensive line the edge in getting a lot more pressure on Tom Brady, even though he is known for getting the ball out quickly. The thing is with Godwin coming back, it's a short week. He has the hamstring thing. Obviously, Mike Evans is kind of up in the air with his ankle. He powered through it, but and again, with our combination of cornerbacks that the Bears have, I think that is a very good matchup in the Bears' defensive favor. So on defense, I think the Bears will be able to create some turnovers. And then the offense, yeah, knowing that we probably won't be able to run the ball and just be limited again to passing, it'll be interesting to see how the Bears utilize the tight ends, in both blocking and just receiving too as targets, to kind of soften some things up to then take shots down the field if you can't run the ball. So I'm hoping to see some change there. So I'm gonna go with the Bears, just because also Tampa is traveling in here. The weather is supposed to be great, so that's not a non-factor. But I think the Bears just barely have an edge, but it's also probably because I'm a homer. So.
Oh, so you're finally calling the Bears? I think that's like the first time all year. I think, right? Am I wrong?
Kind of. I know.
Porky, yeah. Did you say anything, Porky, about that? Are you calling the Bears too, or are you calling Tampa Bay? What are you doing?
I'm going to say the Bears this week. Cheek and tongue.
Let's go.
So we got it.
Let's go.
We're gonna
The
win.
first time all of us have been on the Bears to win this week. Man, I can't wait to watch us lose. Let's.
Yeah, until this goes off the rails. I'm like, run
Oh
that back.
man.
The only
All right.
reason I'm saying that though is because I always pick the home team on a Thursday night game, no matter the circumstances.
Not bad.
Okay, that's a good one. Oh, speaking of picking with teams to win, quick update on the whole betting thing. I'm pretty horrible at it.
It's like, well,
Just
that
a
was
quick
fun
update, guys.
for a
We're
minute.
probably not gonna get any betting segments, or hey, we probably can. What not to bet on? Just do
Yeah,
whatever
right.
I don't do. You just do that.
Avoid
Oh,
these bets.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Professor.
Every under that I chose was over. Every over I chose was under. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. But hey, what else? What else you guys want to talk about? What else is going on? So we got NBA Finals. Miami did get that one game, 2-1. Any hope? You
Yep.
guys think the Lakers are gonna just take it, or any hope since Bam is coming back tonight?
I kind of still think it's going to go either 6 or 7. I mean, regardless.
Mhm.
But I still think the
seriously?
Lakers. Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I think the Lakers will still. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I think of it this way, right? I think tonight the Lakers get another win, but then Miami is able to get one of their own, because with Bam coming back tonight, it'll be interesting to see how many kind of like useful minutes it is with coming off the injury. And so that's why I kind of think the Lakers also will be on fire, because Jimmy's kind of back and forth with LeBron with
Mhm.
the, like you guys, you're in trouble. LeBron
Yeah.
saying that early in the game and Jimmy repaying the favor.
Love that. Love
Yeah,
that.
man, it's going to bring out some intensity. So I think the Lakers tonight, or, in this game, and then kind of, going 6 or maybe 7, I've been wrong a lot. So why not?
You have.
Yeah.
been.
I think it's because also like I didn't watch any of the basketball outside of like I would watch the Bulls because it was like a hate watch thing, and then I would just not watch any of the actual good matchups. So then when the bubble
Like Ben
happened,
and Jerry's at 2 a.m.
oh man, yeah, it was just like, God, what am I doing?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no. So I didn't watch a bunch of it, obviously. But then the bubble, when that kicked off, watched some of those games, but that didn't tell you shit because that was just warm ups. but yeah, we'll see what happens in this series. Don't take my word for it.
So someone told me, I said, "Oh, did you know the NBA Finals, the ratings were lower than they ever been?" I said, "It's not surprising." And then they started talking about politics. That shook me because I thought they were saying the matchup sucked so bad, didn't want to watch it. You know how many minutes I've watched of this series? 0. I do not care to watch it. This is a trash matchup. They needed to get one game because they didn't want to sweep them, and said, "Oh, Jimmy's going to go off," and they think this man is like better than LeBron now. Like, what? Are you kidding me? This man had, Jimmy, I want to watch Jimmy in the finals. Like, I want to listen to that 21 Savage album.
Chill, fam.
Fire.
Yo, what are you doing? Relax. 21 Savage dropped Savage Mode 2. It was absolutely phenomenal because Morgan Freeman was on there. What are you talking about, sir?
Wow.
Hottest features. of
I think I just
2020.
threw up in my mouth a little.
Yo, okay. So is there a little Jimmy hate there? What's going on? Where's all the Chicago Bull love? What's going on?
That man in the
everybody?
Chicago Bull, he's a diva. I can't stand that man. I hope he loses.
Yo, hot take.
Boom, implosion.
If you make a commercial for Michelob Ultra, I'm done with you. That man better not bring a case of that to my house. Get out of here.
Like, what is this?
Bro,
That's the line.
That's messed up. All right, so I mean, hey, I got nothing on that one, bro. He's a
Fire
diva.
up,
That's
yeah.
hilarious. I don't
Fire
think
up game
he's a
4.
diva. I don't think he's a diva.
I
but-
will listen. If they win on the next if the Heat win on the next podcast, I will say good things about Jimmy.
Okay, I thought you were gonna take this into a truth take. I was like, yo, record. Make sure we're recording.
All right.
Speaking of, Truth isn't here today, so the squad has to get together and give a truth take.
Yes.
Oh, this is the finals. This is the Lakers versus Miami. Contavious Caldwell Pope. That man right there. Him and Danny Green are going to hold down the Lakers tonight. They're both going to score the most threes ever in a finals game combined. Contavious Caldwell Pope and Danny Green. I'm calling it. That's my truth take. What's y'all's truth take?
Like, well.
Here we go.
All right.
Oh, let me Jimmy G buckets. Oh, come on now, Jimmy G buckets. Porky, you're gonna tell me you ain't got the love for Jimmy G? Come on, Porky, bro. Come on, let me just stop you. Jimmy G buckets gonna put up another triple double. He might even put up a quadruple double. And then now that Bam's gonna come back, Bam is gonna baby AD. Bam is gonna baby him so bad he's gonna go back to the Pelicans.
DGB.
Could see that coming out in the mouth. No.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Be like, that Tyler Hero kid, he's like, I've been on him for a long time. I've been trying to tell everyone that that's the guy in Miami. Like, he's the wide receiver one, of that team,
He's
though.
the wide receiver.
The Tyler Hero kid. Yeah.
All right. That's truth's take.
Yeah.
Yo, honestly, DGB 2 times in a row, I think it's gotten the truth's take on point. Yo. It was good. That's a good truth's take right there.
Tying
All
it
right.
back into things.
Truth, we love you, man. Awesome. Okay, all right, sweet. So 6 or 7 games, but I'm pretty sure I know I had Miami at first, but after watching, I actually did watch a couple games. And Lakers got this wrapped up. Whether it goes 6 or 7, whatever it may be, Lakers are not losing this no matter what. So we got the Lakers. Anything else in sports or whatever in the world that you guys want to talk
We got
about?
one quick segment that I think me and DGB can handle.
Oh
Yeah.
man, yes. It's
This
been a
was,
while since we've had both of our baseball analysts on live. So I'm gonna let you guys have
Online
the
is
floor.
another YouTube channel. You're gonna have to subscribe somewhere else.
Yeah.
You
Might be
guys,
an age verification for that.
we got our 2 baseball analysts live here and ready. The Chicago Cubs and the Chicago White Sox, unfortunately, are out of the MLB playoffs. I'm gonna give you guys the floor as I hate baseball.
So I just like to, it'll be quick because I don't want to go back to that place again. It was rough. First things first, no hate on Rossi, but you had a good thing with Joe. I think the experience of what he had, it's different. When you look at everybody criticizing Joe for pulling Kyle Hendricks too early, and what did Kyle Hendricks do to you in the playoffs this year? It's rough. It's a very hard but he's young, which also goes into Renteria. He's always been pulled earlier. He's been like the build-up guy, and he didn't manage the bullpen well going into it. But I want them to keep him. The team and him mesh so well. Look at all the development that went well, and it's something that's been on my nerves for so long with sports is that with coaches, they give them like 3 or 4, maybe 5 years at most, and then you dump them. But like development comes with time, especially. Nobody has like this all-star few and far between, but they don't have this all-star. I'd say give coaches 8-10 year deals, and then you got to can it from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think from both sides of town for both clubs, different situations, because obviously the Cubs having that veteran roster. I mean, the David Ross thing the changeover doesn't do anything for me. The problems that the Cubs have had with hitting timely and stringing hits together to score runs consistently has been an issue dating back to basically to the Super Bowl, to the World Series. So, they've got to solve those problems. And then on the other side, I mean, Renteria, it goes to a thing of trust, right? The players trust him as their manager. There's a connection there. And that team is kind of like the Cubs were before they turned the corner, where they're maybe a year ahead of schedule in getting into the playoffs and having the opportunity. And, obviously both sides of town blew it pretty early,
quickly.
But, it's on one side with the Sox, you feel a little bit more optimistic just because that ceiling hasn't been touched. Whereas with the Cubs, I think it's kind of now in terms of rebuild and, kind of retool some of these pieces, and that's kind of where they're at. So it's a little bit sad for that kind of stuff. But, hey, at the end of the day, they both made the playoffs and, you got to just have a shot. But it just didn't happen.
Yeah. And I guess I truly hope that both teams, like, I don't know if Rossi got to manage his game. I think that a reason why they let Joe go was because they're big on analytics, and Joe he was kind of, but he wants to do it his own way. And with Renteria now being young, I wonder if they kind of gave him a game plan. And I understand, but the eye test, that's something I believe in sports. I think that so many of these organizations, they lean towards. So I really want to know, was that really Rossi's game, and was that really Renteria's game? And also after that, what did they learn? Like, what are they going to adapt going forward? Because that progression in them, I want to hear personally, and not just from upper management saying things got to change. Because I hear them. I think it was Theo on the local sports radio show, and he was saying, this is unacceptable, and blah blah blah. Well, yeah, it is, but then if you're saying it is, are you telling them to go in with preset lineups to do all this? Well, then if it is, then it's your fault as well. There's got to be ownership on you from there. And
I think it's just that is more on the player level of like, can't happen, because it's been different layers of coaching staffs, that have had the same problem. The thing that with Ross is so, it just is so different because he literally played for the club, and then it was almost like, boom, almost hopping right into it as a manager. So a lot of the guys that, were your teammates and obviously had some respect as he was the elder statesman as well. It kind of this year, I wonder how much of that, for him finding his footing as kind of more the manager versus, the player, co-player with the team. So, I think going forward, both of them kind of giving them some leash to, to see what they can do and what their style is, will be interesting to watch. And like I said, on the Sox side of town, a little bit more optimism just because that is such a young team and some dynamic talent, to come for years.
And I'm going to switch gears real fast now.
I was going to say before you do so,
Go ahead.
a couple weeks ago.
Oh, hot take, baseball.
Yeah, I was about to say a couple weeks ago, I was chilling with this one girl, one lady. I'm 29 there. I'm not with girls. Lady. And I was explaining the importance of benching Mitch for Nick Foles. And as I was explaining this, I just felt like there was a disconnection. Like she didn't understand a single thing that I was saying. She could care less. That whole 5 minutes you guys just provided of wonderful baseball news, that's exactly how I felt. Like, that's exactly how
now
I
you know
felt.
how she felt.
Like,
Yeah.
This is horrible. No, I'm just kidding.
When will it end?
Oh, man. But go ahead. You said you were going to switch gears. What were you about to say, Porky?
So these are two people in the NBA where I don't know how much I'm going to care about. Right? They're amazingly talented, and I think they're just going to blow their careers up now because they're idiots.
Wait, who?
These two people got a fresh new head coach, and they said, I don't believe coaching is – I think it's a cumulative effort,
Okay,
I don't believe in one head coach.
It wasn't both of them. It was just one person that said it. It was just one. But go ahead.
Well, the other idiot said, well, for the first time in my career, I can look down and say that man can make that shot. Yo, like, You played with the greatest player, and you know I don't care. I got emotions for LeBron a certain way. I respect his greatness, but the dude is a Hall of Famer, GOAT for the time for decades. You can say that decades now, 2 decades now,
Generational
right? Pretty
talent.
much, yeah. And this Kyrie with the disrespect to say for the first time in my career. And then KD is just gonna blatant disrespect a Hall of Fame point guard that they bring in because they said you want to work with him, and they said you ain't got no voice here. Come on, no, take it. That's the 2 L's right there.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna be the guy that says I love that the athletes are telling us what's really on their mind. Okay, I support how they feel about certain topics, and I will
Oh
not.
my goodness, I gotta. Oh my no. No. Stop it. This will not be on this podcast. That was a truth take right there, and it's going to be edited out.
Let me finish, bro.
All right, go ahead. My bad.
No, you shut it down. It's cool. Oh, no. I mean, you got a point. You got a dead-ass point. They were Kyrie and KD are hilarious. I can't wait to see these two in New York, or not New York, in New Jersey together, because this is going to be
New York.
hilarious.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Yeah, not New Jersey. Wow, they're in Brooklyn. Duh, yeah. Can't wait to see them in Brooklyn together. Because these players, they're not afraid of anyone. Number one, they're not afraid of the media. KD is trying to become the media right now. Like, I just can't see.
Yeah, after he had a fake Twitter account, this man, yeah, sure. I'm going to pretend like I ain't afraid of the media when I'm the one with the burner. And then Mr. Flat World over there, as you see, I'm just heated over there. Like, this is what you want to support? This is what you want to support?
Porky, you're heated right now.
Jimmy Butler. Kyrie Irving.
What a list!
Yeah, Kevin Durant.
What a list you created this spot, man. All right, let's end this real quick before we start adding more people. Jimmy, what was that? What did you say? Jimmy Butler, KD, Kyrie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, hilarious. All right, so you got that off your chest. Anything else you guys wanted to get off your chest?
I'm good.
Thank you guys for joining us for the Squad Pod number 17. Hey, number 17. Hey, we're doing this.
Let's go.
We're doing this.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us. You can follow all of us on Twitter. I got all of our Twitters in our little headers or whatever. So follow us there. All of that good stuff. Like and subscribe to this video. Talk to us. Chat with us. We're going to be doing some stuff later on this week. We'll just keep an eye on our socials in here, and we'll find out. But other than that, I'm good to go. You guys need any more time? Airtime? No? You're good? You're good? Mm-hmm. Peace out, guys. Bye.
Well, I can always use more airtime.
Come on now.